to Good Morning Sri Lanka. You're with me, Anupama and Jason. We have a very special guest today with us, Dr. Hariduti Vijayasinghe. If you missed out the previous segment, like Jason said before, you can go on YouTube and search for us. But yeah, we were talking about overuse injuries, the most prominent overuse injuries or sports injuries, because Dr. Hariduti Vijayasinghe over here is a sports medicine specialist, in case you missed that. So tell us a few categories that we can find regarding common overuse injuries, doctor.
Yeah, actually now training is the process where you take an athlete from one level and take him up to the next level.
Yeah.
But during the process you have to do it correctly, because if you do something too much, you're going to cause damage to the tissues in the body.
Okay.
And these tissue damages keep accumulating and the tissues become weaker, and they end up with an injury. So that's what we call a overuse injury.
Okay.
For example, if you take a cricket fast ball, if you make him keep bowling a certain amount more than what he can, he's going to end up with something like a stress fracture of his back. It's very common of his back. We call it a pars interarticularis fracture, and nearly all fast bowlers have got this.
Right.
So my boss from Australia say only Jeff Thompson and Glenn McGrath didn't have this fracture.
Out of all the fast bowlers?
Of all the fast bowlers. I mean, Chamin Dawaz had it. Most of the fast bowlers have had it.
And this is a fracture you mentioned?
It's a fracture of the back.
Right.
Okay. So now there actually for juniors there's a certain restriction of the number of overs, say 6 overs or 8 overs you can bowl in a certain age group. But unfortunately in Sri Lanka we see that this is overdone, and so that's a common thing. Then others, we see tennis players, we see them 8-10-year-olds serving about the 10th, which is again there are certain restrictions based on guidelines, this number. So these are the common overuse injuries we see. And if you take a run, if you do too much running on surfaces, you end up with overuse injuries in the knee. So it's all a matter of controlling the training loads to prevent overuse injury.
So it's like you said, it's all about balance, I think.
Right.
Don't you think?
So I think is that the only way of preventing? Obviously, that is the main feature of how you would stop and prevent something like that.
Training, the proper training load is very important. Then of course training equipment, shoes would be the most important thing.
Right.
So if you say someone who's running a lot, there's a certain number of kilometers you can run on a shoe pair, then you have to change the shoe pair. So there are various things. Then proper techniques are very important. For example, if you serve or bowl with the wrong technique, you're going to end up with a overuse injury.
And especially when you get used to like chucking the ball when you're a kid, and not like I chucked when I was a kid. I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, I mean you might get injured from that, which is unfortunate. But we just got handed this list of
very unpronounceable few syndromes that I really can't pronounce. I'm kind of ashamed of it actually. But we are going to hand over it to the specialist. There are a few common overuse injuries. Could you just elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think you're asking about patellofemoral syndrome.
That one.
Yes.
That one. That's one of the lists.
It's a long name.
Yeah. How do you say that again?
It's patellofemoral.
Patellofemoral.
Yeah. Patella means it's a kneecap. So it's just in front of your knee, and the femoral means your thigh bone. So between this there's a cartilage which prevents this kneecap from coming and hitting the thigh bone, and it's wear or tear of the cartilage behind this. Now this is a very common injury, especially in cricketers.
Cricketers? I was thinking runners.
More than, because we play a lot of cricket, we tend to see more cricketers
like
than
the
runners.
slips and the slides, that could affect it.
Wicket keepers, we've seen a lot because they do a lot of kneeling. But mainly in fast bowlers, even batsmen. So it's a very common overuse injury. And one of the commonest mechanisms is that you need to have strong leg muscles, which prevent these bones from racking on each other. And then again the proper training loads. So again for patella, as any overuse injury, it's always to do with what we call biomechanics, how your muscles interact with each other. So it's one of the very common, and what you get is you get pain behind your kneecap on running or playing.
Pain behind your kneecap?
Yes.
All right.
And around the knee.
And you said that this is because the leg muscles are not strong enough in order to support the kneecap?
Yeah, it's weak muscles are the primary cause, and actually the treatment for patellofemoral syndrome is strengthening
the leg muscles.
But if the pain is severe, we do inject and give painkillers, but the long term solution is of course modifying the training loads and then strengthening the leg muscles.
Okay. And
the next one,
the next unpronounceable word.
Well, I've pretty much got the shortened version of it, the IT band syndrome. The band syndrome, I think.
And what's the long version of it, doctor?
It's iliotibial band syndrome.
That one.
Iliotibial.
That's another common overuse. That's one we see in runners. Yeah. So from you have a muscle running down the side of your thigh, all the way down.
Okay.
And where it inserts into the knee, you get irritation at the where it inserts and along it. And you have to do a lot of stretching of the iliotibial band when you get it. And again, as with all these injuries, it's muscle strength which is very important in rehabilitating. So we focus. Now, Sri Lankans, we have a habit where we are very quadriceps dominant.
What does that mean?
Yeah, the quadriceps means it's a muscle in front of your thigh.
Right.
And we do a lot of exercises. But
on that one only.
But athletes should be glute dominant, where the strength, the power, everything should be coming from your buttock muscles. Because they are the most powerful muscles in the body.
Right.
So when we do injury prevention, we speak about strength training. Every athlete needs a certain amount of strength to prevent injuries and also to excel.
Right.
And so that's why we focus things like squats, lunges, deadlifts, where you are training those glute muscles.
Right.
Whereas if you go to a gym, you see people doing this exercise where they just go.
I was just about to ask you about that. Yeah.
Now that is a leg extension machine, and what it does is it just strengthens the quadricep muscle, and then it pulls the knee forward, and it leads to a lot of injuries.
I see.
So when you talk about one of the causes of the ITB syndrome is that the glute muscles are weak, and so again it's a strengthening of those muscles which is very important.
Wow. All right. Yeah, that was about the IT band syndrome.
Yes, that was.
Thanks, Jason, for reminding me of the short version of it. Then there's something else called bursitis?
Yeah, a bursa, our muscles end up in like a tendon, and wherever they insert, there are bursa to prevent it rubbing on the bone. Right, so it's like a sac filled with a little bit of fluid, and especially the Achilles tendon has a bursa. So if with an overuse injury, what happens is this bursa becomes inflamed. It becomes red, it becomes painful. So that's what a bursa is. You can get it in the knee. We have a common thing called answering bursa. It's just on the inside of the knee. Sometimes you get a severe pain. So for the bursitis, it's a generally overuse injury, and ice application works very well. Some painkillers, and then you have to look at what caused it.
Right.
What usually, what are the most common sports players who come up with this sort of knee problems, bursa problems and all?
Bursa players who run a lot. Have you seen it in golfers even, because they walk a lot. Badminton players we've seen bursitis coming because they tend to jump and run a lot. And now when we speak about sports people, we see a lot in recreational sports.
Right.
Whereas the top class sportsmen, usually they have conditioned themselves adequately, and they have a very good knowledge, and they tend to come with more serious injuries. But these bursitis and all, we generally see more in the recreational athletes.
I see.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to see that most of the injuries are highlighted in the knee. The overuse injuries that we were speaking about, they're all focused on the knee and the joints, the ankles and the knees.
There's a reason, because that is the area which takes the impact of the body.
Right.
For example, when you run about 4 or 5 times, your body is going through your ankles, your knees, your hips, and then to the back. So if you are doing a lot of running, jumping, the overuse injuries will come there. Whereas if you are using your hands, racket sports and all, golf, anything, tennis, shoulders, wrist, you see a lot of elbows you see. So it all depends on what you are using in your sport.
Right, let me ask you this. I've seen a lot of people don't have time to, they prefer not to jog outside, but they use their treadmill at home. Is that, would that cause a worse injury, like using a treadmill?
Actually, the treadmill is better than jogging outside.
Why is that?
Because it is a good treadmill. It really depends. When you take a good treadmill, because it's all among the shock absorption in a treadmill. That's why the commercial treadmills are very expensive. One thing, they have a lot of. So running on a good treadmill actually prevents a lot of injuries. Whereas if you run outside on the road, there's a lot of impact there.
Yes, that is true.
And I think a lot of people make this mistake. to lose weight, they start running or walking.
Yeah.
Whereas it should be the other way around. You should walk before you try a lot of high impact stuff, lose weight before you do that. So,
are you serious?
Yes.
that was kind of new, because I mean I'm seriously learning a lot here, because like you said, there are lots of people who start walking and running in order to lose weight. So you lose weight first and then you walk and run?
And then you get knee pain. So
and they get knee pain.
But I'm guessing they don't go through the whole process of running. They go running and then they get injured. Then they stop. Completely.
And then the whole losing weight thing stops.
And then when you're doing exercise, I mean, there's a rest period. So if you run one day, you have to rest the next day.
Okay.
What happens if people start running all 7 days or walking all 7 days of the week? Which because the basic thing about exercise is it's a stimulus to your body.
Yes.
And you have to rest that. Then only the body builds itself up to make you fit. So that's the basic philosophy.
Right. All right. So the next one is tendinitis.
Nice.
Also known as tendinosis, if I'm correct. What is that exactly? Something to do with the tendons, I'm guessing.
Yes. I mean, no, when our muscles, say if you take the biceps, it goes and attaches here from a tendon. Yeah. So if you take the elbow, all the forearm muscles attach here. So tendinosis or tendinitis means stretching of that tendon. Okay. And what it gives pain over the tendon. So as you know, the tennis elbow is one of the most common tendon injuries we see. Then of course we get the shoulder injuries, the rotator cuff muscles from various sports. So all these are tendon injuries. And the other common one is ligament injuries. Because the ligaments are the things which support all the joints on either side.
And they're the ones that stretch and twist and...
Yes.
Yeah, that's how they... I know the ligament scene. Yeah, so...